And welcome to our city. It's November 5th, 2019, and we welcome you to our show. We have a couple of great guests tonight. But before we get started, you know what? I usually show a lot of pictures of stuff we just got done doing, but since this is our first show in November, I thought I would love to share with you and have you join me in remembering to be thankful this November. I've seen that before on some of the social media sites where they try to list and post different things that I'm thankful for this and I'm thankful for that, and try to do different things. And I think it's just always helpful for us to be mindful that it's always a good time for us to be thankful. And what I wanted to show you tonight and talk to you a little bit about was what reminds me to be thankful for today. And what that is important to me is the freedoms that we have. And I dug up some pictures, and I know we'll have them up here shortly when we get them all situated. But what I wanted to share with you was how fortunate that we are that we have the freedoms that we do. And we need to remember and thank those who gave us those freedoms. Pardon me? I think we're not quite set up to have the pictures ready, and I kind of wanted to show you those with the story of being thankful, because I think I'd like to do this every week in November if we can. So we're going to do that later, and go ahead and welcome our first guest, and I know every one of you already knows her. We have Betty Collins from Musser Public Library here. Betty.
Hi, Mayor Broderson.
Oh,
Thanks
so
for having me here
tonight.
Yeah, likewise.
We were just talking before the show that the last time you were on the show, you weren't here. We were out and about that night, and we were down at the library, and you were dressed a little funny.
Yes, I was wearing a silver spacesuit, and you and I were standing out in front of the library in what we were calling our lunar rock pile, and it was the hottest day of the year.
It was so hot that day. I don't know how you guys made it.
Sheer exuberance. That's why. We were so excited because kids and teens who had signed up for summer reading had met a goal. We'd given them a goal midway through the summer reading program to read a certain number of minutes, and we would dress up like astronauts. And we did, and we probably lost about 10 pounds in sweat, each of us, but it was great. It was so much fun.
It was. Yeah. And you know, even though it was so hot, there was a big turnout of people to watch and enjoy it.
Yes, and we had a great time.
Yep. Yeah. Always. And you, once again, there were a lot of volunteers.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we couldn't do it without lots of volunteers.
We talk about that all the time on the show, how there's so many programs going on in the city that just would not be possible if people didn't step up and volunteer.
Yeah,
so we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
So you're here tonight to talk to us about a new program that the library is doing called Lena.
Yes, it's called Lena, Tiny Talkers, and it is all about early language. And what that means is that it's so good for babies and toddlers to hear language, be exposed to language, and then to engage in back and forth conversation, that the brain is just set up to thrive on that and to grow and develop incredibly fast through just words, the spoken word and conversations.
So when they're really young?
Oh yes, from the very beginning. In fact, babies babies hear the mother's voice and other people's voices in the womb. And so the exposure to language begins even before a child is born.
Isn't that something? You know, we've heard about people reading to their babies before they're born and playing Mozart and different things. So there really is a little truth to that.
There's some myth and there's some truth.
Okay.
We don't want to say too much about that, like playing what songs you should play. But sure, they're definitely exposed to that from the very earliest days, and it makes a difference.
That's great.
Yes.
So the Lena program, that's at the library. How do people get involved in it?
Well, they can just call us and say they'd like to participate. Like everything at the library, it's completely free.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So people just have to be willing. First of all, you have to have a child between birth and 32 months of age.
Oh,
to
so
join.
really young.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then it's a bit of a commitment. It's 10 weeks. So once a week, a family who signs up for it will come to a Wednesday night event where we go over some curriculum that has been made by the Lena Foundation and proven through research and study to be effective. And they come for 10 weeks and participate in the program. We offer a free meal. We offer free childcare in the library children's department.
Very nice.
And
even for the infants?
Yes, although infants may stay with their parents.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But we just want to make it as conducive as possible for people to come in and participate in the program and enjoy it. And we love it. It's so far proving to be pretty much just what we hoped for.
Good.
Yeah.
So what is the actual curriculum? What does the program do on Wednesday night? What do they learn?
Parents learn a little bit about brain development.
Okay.
And about how conversing, talking with their babies and their children helps the brain grow, and then strategies to try to increase talk in the household.
So why it's important, and then how to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then the thing that makes Lena really different and more effective is that it offers a way to objectively measure the amount of language that the child is experiencing in their environment.
Okay.
And that is through a little device that the child wears 1 day a week. So the parent has we give the parent a little vest that Lena provides us. There's a little pocket in it with a snap, and there's a little device that they put in the pocket, snap it shut, and the baby or the toddler wears it all day long, 1 day a week. They return us that device. We plug it into some software from Lena, and it uploads to Colorado, where they have their headquarters, and it will spit out the data. And what that data shows is the number of adult words that the child heard during the day and the number of back and forth interactions, verbal interactions that child experiences with another person.
So it reinforces to the parent
it shows
what
because
they were doing.
Yes,
helping.
If you can't see objectively what the data is, you really don't know how much you're talking to your child.
Sure.
And then the report also shows the breakdown hourly throughout the day. And so if you see that your number of words or number of conversational turns are really high from, say, 11 to 12, then you can think about what you were doing at that time and knowing that your child is getting a lot of language exposure and language participation during that activity.
Or maybe there's a lull time that you might think, oh, I could probably pick that up a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Or if you see that, say, the words and the turns surge at, say, 6 o'clock at night, then maybe you're sitting around the family dinner table. And there's so many times when conversation just happens naturally and with a little bit of intentionality and a little bit of education. It's so easy.
You can make it be a positive.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we love Lena because everybody can do it. It doesn't take special degrees or you don't need a PhD. All you need to do is to sit down with your child and talk to them, and more importantly, with them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you facilitate the group. Is it a group setting?
Yes.
Or is it one-on-one?
No, it's a group setting. And in fact,
setting?
that's part of what we really love about it, because our groups, we're in our second group, and we've noticed that they begin to build a sense of community and a sense of mutual support. And, we as the presenters really hope to be helping people, but I know for sure that people get support from each other in the group because they're the ones who are parenting young children at the moment, and they'll give each other tips and give each other support and admire each other's babies.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Well, you know that we do support groups at the Y. I'm a big proponent of groups and how beneficial they can be when they can develop relationships with one another.
Yes.
And peer-to-peer learning is something that really is amazing.
It can't be beat.
It can't be. It really can't be. And research shows that it's very beneficial.
Yeah.
And people are much more apt to learn together and grow together in that way. So you facilitate it and someone else.
Yes, we have a group of us at the kind of a team at the library that we work together, and then we consult with the Lena Foundation because we have made a commitment to do this for 2 years, and we will hope to continue after that. It's really probably very important for me to say that there's no way we could have done this without the support of the community foundation and the Community Health Foundation. So they helped us have the means to make a 2-year commitment. And I guess what Pam, our library director, she gave me a great metaphor for it. She says, this has been a really amazing journey, and right now we have gas in the tank, but there will be a day when we need to refuel.
That's true.
And so then we'll be looking for some support to help continue, and we're so excited about it because we've gotten some great results.
That's good. So you're taking your first group through 10 weeks, and then you're now on the second group.
The first group was actually 13 weeks, which is a huge commitment for parents. But on the other hand, you really begin to make habits and or change habits over a 13-week period. Now Lena has changed their structure, and they're saying that they believe it can be done in a 10-week session. And so now we're on to the 10-week groups, and we're mostly through the second one, and we're finding it just as exciting and productive.
So do you take a couple weeks in between to ramp up for the next group, or do they run back?
No, this group will end November 20th. You know, that's right before the holidays, and so we won't start up again until January.
Perfect. So, and during that time, you're taking names for who's going to be in that group.
Yes, although I've already received a name for that group, so if anyone listening wants to call us. It tops out at 15 per cohort.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to be involved.
Sure. So it's a Wednesday evening. What is the time?
We meet at 6 to about 7:15.
Okay. That's not a bad time. And if you're feeding supper during that time as well.
We offer supper.
Yes.
And so supper is provided, and
so
then
go home, take baths, and
and we do know that many people have church activities on Wednesday night, and so we have up until this point really tried not to do things on Wednesday evenings, but this is a case where at least most churches don't offer as much for infants as for older children.
That's true. This is true.
So we feel that it's a good fit in that respect as well.
Right. They usually start at grade school.
Usually.
On that. Yes. Well, how exciting.
Yes.
So how many people have you had in the first 2 groups then?
Combined, we've reached 29 families or 127 people, unique individuals total so far.
How wonderful is that?
Yeah, we're really happy about it. We've gotten a great mix of people, and we're looking forward to doing more cohorts in the future. Now, I do have some exciting news, and that was that, and I find this rather amazing, but Lena will measure our data at the end and crunch the numbers for us and tell us how we did compared with other Lena groups. And our first Lena group, the only one that's completely finished to this point, their percentile of language development increase was the highest of any Lena group.
Isn't that
anywhere.
wonderful?
So, yeah, we were very excited about that.
Yes, that is very nice. Is Lena an acronym?
Not exactly. It stands for Learning Environment Analysis.
Okay.
And because that's not just one word per letter, it's not officially an acronym, but that's where the name comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. How long has it's an evidence-based program. How long has it been around?
It's been First they did research, then they rolled out the devices, and that's been going on about 15 years,
Oh,
but
so
they
it's
were
been
doing
around a
research
while.
before then. Yes, in fact, they had a longitudinal study from their first Lena cohort ever. Several years back, they studied a 10-year result of that, and they found really significant data as far as the effectiveness of, first of all, the total number of words that a young child hears, and even more importantly, the number of conversational turns, because apparently that is what has the most power to really build a child's brain.
And how exciting for you guys to be able to know that you've impacted these families when the children are young. I mean, we all know the earlier you can get services to a family and teach them something new, the younger the child is, the more beneficial and impactful it can be for their entire lives.
Yes.
So it's got to be so rewarding for you to know.
It's a great feeling, and we've really enjoyed meeting these families and having the groups. We feel really connected.
Very good.
Yes.
Now, are they all in English at this time? Because I know you speak Spanish.
Yes, though I'm not a native speaker. So we have lined up a native Spanish-speaking instructor as well, and probably next time we will have a concurrent English and Spanish cohort.
Very good. Very helpful.
Yeah.
You know, it's so nice when folks can learn in their native language.
And in fact, this time we had an African family join. We didn't realize that we needed a French translator, and so we had to come up with a French translator on the spot.
And you did?
Yes, from other library patrons. So
very nice.
Yeah, that felt like a nice success story.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. It's a great program. I know you guys tried for a couple years. You were wanting to get this here.
Yes. Yeah,
so,
it's a big undertaking.
Sure it is. Anytime you do a new program, especially one this extensive.
Yes. But and then just as we were thinking about it, that was when the city was gifted the building by H&I, and so that put everything else on hold for a while. And now that we're in the building and Lena is up and running, we really feel happy about that.
Oh, very exciting. Nothing but good coming out of the library.
Well, glad to hear you say that.
Oh, and you know what's so nice now to go there for meetings, because I have meetings there. In fact, I have one there at noon tomorrow. You know, I mean, you see so many different people utilizing the facility.
Yes, that's been one of the big advantages of having it be the H&I Community Center as well.
Sure.
That it's just always filled with people.
Sure.
And we love that.
Yeah. So I got to say, I have a gal at Fairway that works at Fairway bagging the groceries who has nothing but good things to say about you. So I told her I'd tell you hi.
Well, you can, whoever she is, you can tell her hello too.
I will.
You know, I notice as I get older and have been here longer that now when I go to the grocery store, I'll look at someone and think, I think I told you stories when you were little. And it's a really fun feeling.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
Yeah, well, tell her thank you.
I will. Well, thank you so much, Betty, for coming, and thank you for the Lena program to the community. And anybody who has any questions or wants to sign up or just needs more information, they can just call the library, right?
Yes, just call the library, ask for me, or even if they don't ask for me, they'll probably be sent to me.
Yes.
And I'd love to tell anyone all about it, and we will be looking to start up again in January.
And I know that Chad, our producer, had pulled up some stuff from Lena. So lena.org, people can look that up as well and find out more information about the program.
Yes.
And I'm sure, we didn't talk about this, but I'm sure that families from all socioeconomic backgrounds are welcome to
absolutely
to involve themselves in the program.
Yes, that was very important to us, that this is a program for everybody.
Everyone.
We believe any family can benefit from it.
Sure.
And just as in all library services, you know, everyone is welcome, and it's always free.
Perfect. Thank you. Did we forget to talk about anything?
You know, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we've covered everything.
Very good.
And thanks so much for having me on the show tonight.
Thank you. We'll have you back again, don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
Spacesuit or not.
Betty. Yes. Well, we've got a few save the dates that I just wanted to share with you. And by few, you know, that's a loose term because there's quite a few. So this Friday is the 3rd annual casino night. It's the Muscatine Community Y annual fundraiser. So there's still some tickets available. Call the Y or look on the Y website for more information. It's the Great Gatsby theme, And you dress up in Great Gatsby and come on out. It's a wonderful evening, perfect date night for you and your spouse, and it is a ton of fun. I know you're not going to want to miss it. It's at the National Pearl Button Museum this Friday, starting at 6 o'clock. And if you don't want to do a date night, then you could just grab a few of your lady friends or guy friends and come on out. A lot of people do that both ways. Geneva Golf and Country Club has graciously agreed to cater hors d'oeuvres, and trust me, there's plenty of them. So we'd love to see you on Friday. Next, the Character Development Program at the Y is doing a trivia night on November 15th. Me and my family love doing trivia nights, just a ton of fun, always for a good cause. And this one is to support the youth at the Y. They do a lot of programs for Muscatine youth to help them build character and certainly to learn the core values of caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility. So November 15th, trivia at 7 o'clock at the Rendezvous. Call Amy at the Y if you would like to get a table, or just show up. You can just show up and pay at the door. It's no problem. Easy peasy. Next, the Muscatine Art Center's having their holiday open house November 15th from 5 to 7. So you could go to the Art Center open house at 5 o'clock, and then you could go over to trivia night after that and have a good time that whole evening. The next Coffee with the Mayor is going to be, here's our flyer on the holiday open house, November 15th. All kinds of homemade ornaments. If you haven't went before, you won't want to miss it because it really is a really nice time. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door, so you might as well go ahead and get them in advance. And then the next Coffee with the Mayor is November 18th. And this month, we're going to go to Salvation Army. You know, the Salvation Army serves lunch on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we are going to be there on Monday, November 18th. We're going to have lunch with the people that came to eat and visit with them and talk to them and answer questions and have a really nice time. The next thing, just to share with you, we have a guest coming up on this, but the diaper drive. So as you know, we talked about this last week. Muscatine is going to have a diaper pantry, a diaper bank, if you will, and we have to fill the pantry with diapers. So November 10th through the 17th is going to be a diaper drive all over the community. You can bring diapers of any size, any brand, to area churches, to the Y, to the Salvation Army, to the Muskie Early Learning Center, the old Colorado School. Pearl Plaza will have a place set up, as well as the community college. This is a new service that we're looking at helping families here in Muscatine, and I know you will want to be a part of that. We're going to talk about being thankful in November at the end. So I would like to have you join me in welcoming Lieutenant Greg Bach. He is our relatively new, but not totally new, lieutenant at the Muscatine Salvation Army. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So good to have you come. And hey,
yes,
you're the same type as Betty, who just left. The last time she was here, we were at your place. Out and about.
That's right, at Salvation Army.
That's right. So
Sure
this time you get to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a good topic to talk about too, Salvation Army Christmas basket program.
It's fun.
I love it.
It's what's cool about it is it's not just Muscatine doing it.
No.
It's all across the country. Salvation Armies are gearing up for this kettle campaign and Christmas baskets and making sure folks have food for the holidays and toys for the kids. So it's a great time of year to, well, one, be thankful and show your thanks, right?
That's right.
By giving back.
That's right.
So it's great.
So the Salvation Army Christmas basket program has been going on as long as I can remember here in Muscatine. And really what it is it's the community coming together to make sure that every child and family in Muscatine has a good Christmas.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing that I've gotten into in the last few weeks. I like to research where we've come from. Right? So I've been doing this research on the Muscatine Salvation Army.
Oh, I've been seeing some of your stuff.
Right?
Yes.
So I've come here prepared to tell you about 2 different dates, okay?
Okay.
And about what happened on these dates for the feeding of the people that need fed at
Okay.
holiday season. So back in 1895, all right, so we started in 1892
Okay.
in Muscatine. So just a few years after we started, the churches got together and they helped Salvation Army raise $13.20.
Wow.
Right? Big money.
Big money back then.
1895, you know, and they fed 110 kids and 20 adults at the Salvation Army Barracks, which was on West 2nd Street.
Okay.
So 1895, $13.20 fed that many people
That's a
and
lot
kids.
of people. And
yeah.
I bet in 1895, there were people who were going to go without a meal
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
Christmas.
Oh yeah, I just researched the genealogy and the newspaper and looked at all of it, and the stories are just amazing. So fast forward now, right, to 1956.
Okay.
Okay. So Captain Velasquez was here, Israel Velasquez. He was here. Some folks watching might remember him from back in the 50s.
Sure.
There around then. The goal for the Christmas campaign was $3,000.
Wow.
Okay. And they lit the Christmas tree, and they still had the hall on 2nd Street, right? So they were able to light the Christmas tree on 2nd Street. They had 120 lights. Every $25, you got to light one light, right? So 120 lights, that's a $3,000 goal.
Sure.
Okay. And they were able to feed at that Christmas party 450 kids.
Wow.
With that $3,000 and have presents for them and make sure they enjoyed Christmas.
Isn't that neat?
And now here we are in 2019, right? All this foundation has been laid for me, and researching it and reading about it, it just does something inside of me. Like,
because now you're a part.
Yeah, I want to do these people. I want to honor them and all their efforts.
Yeah.
I'm sure as folks have that it was in your office before you. You want to make sure that you honor the office that you're in,
Absolutely,
and the community that you're in, and help. You know, spread that love and cheer. And so this year, we are doing sign-ups right now.
For Christmas baskets.
For Christmas
So there were
baskets.
3 days in October, and now there's 3 days in November.
Yep, 3 days in November. It was yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Right. So if you haven't signed up for a Christmas basket yet,
Yes.
tomorrow is the day.
Tomorrow is, where's the camera? Tomorrow is the day.
That is
Tomorrow
it.
the day.
So
Yes.
if you or anyone you know
Yes.
needs help at Christmas time, get them down to Salvation Army tomorrow. No appointment necessary.
No appointment necessary.
Come on down.
Listen, so in reading these articles, I noticed how simple it was for folks to get help, right?
Sure.
I want to return to that.
I love that.
I want to return to, I don't want to go through this big, we need your paycheck stubs, we need
I
your,
know, I hate that.
bring in your whole book of life documents that you have. No, listen, all we need for help, for you to get the help is an ID for you, or every adult in the household, right? And medical cards for the kids, because it has their identity on it. And a medical card, if you're on the medical card, it proves your income.
Sure.
You know,
that's it.
Or if you don't have medical cards for the kids, like a WIC or food stamps.
Something like that.
Right. And that should have an address on it of where you live.
Sure.
And that's really all we really need for people to get help for Christmas this year, is we want to just make it so simple.
Sure.
And kind of just ease the burden on folks to be able to come and get help. And it's a painless process. It's a quick process.
Is it
and you
quick?
know what?
How
It
long
is.
how long can they expect for their appointment to be?
You know, anywhere between 7 and 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I mean, they get them in and they get them out. And when I'm there, I get the popcorn machine out, and we have Christmas music playing, movies playing for the kids if they need to, come and with the parents to sign up. And we're eating popcorn, dancing, having a good time. So people have commented how quick and how easy it's been. So we're really pleased.
I'm glad
with that.
And you can see that families have to jump through hoops if they're signing up to get a check or ongoing assistance or things like that. But for Christmas, maybe they don't have to go through all of those hoops. And I love that you're taking that into consideration.
Now, some people were a little bit put off with the fact that we kind of pulled all the applications back to taking them just at the Salvation Army this year.
Sure. And it's a change.
I'll explain it a little bit.
Okay.
And it's being new in the community. And really, this is our first appointment as Salvation Army officers. We're fresh lieutenants in the training college. It got so so far-reaching with
Sure.
all the organizations doing it. We kind of wanted to bring it back and just kind of start back at the home base.
Yeah.
And then, so if we get to tomorrow evening and we look at the numbers and go, wow, these are really off from what the previous years have been.
Right.
We still have time then to say,
To make an adjustment.
yes, okay, agencies, you can take applications for your
Okay.
people. There are some people that haven't come yet because there's no interpreter there for them, and the application's not in Spanish.
Okay.
I'm thankful, right,
Uh-huh.
to say that our caseworker, Mary Darnell, her friend from Lutheran Services, Lutheran Family Services,
Lutheran Services Dialogue.
she's going to come and
Tomorrow?
interpret, yes, tomorrow, and
Oh.
interpret for people who need interpretation.
So tomorrow is
Yes.
not only the day, but it's the day there'll be somebody
Yes.
there to be a translator.
Yeah, and we've got that information pushed out on social media.
Great.
So we'll have the applications in Spanish as well. And like I said, once again, if people are like, you know, we couldn't get down there, can my church sign me up? Can my, agency that I work with very
Sure.
closely sign me up? If they just want to give us a call and talk to us,
Yeah,
we
sure.
will work with it.
I know, and I know that that's the way you do business.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody calls and says we have this extenuating circumstance
Yeah.
and this one was in the hospital and this one's off working and now they're not going, you'll make it work.
Yeah.
I know you
Really,
will.
because who am I to say, well, no, we're not going to do that for you?
Yeah.
Because we're here
Too
to
bad,
serve
so
you.
sad.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
No.
here to serve you. That's
Exactly.
Listen, I am honored and privileged to be the Salvation Army officer along with my wife in Muscatine. And our job is to serve this city.
We are so thankful
That's our
that
job.
you're here.
And
We
that's
love it.
that's how we
Yeah.
kind of like to operate is it's
Sure.
our honor and privilege to do that. So if we have to jump through hoops for you, guess what? We're going to jump through those hoops for
That's
you.
great.
That's what we get to do.
Yes.
We like it.
Oh, and the Christmas basket program is this whole time of the season of the Christmas baskets, of the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign starting, because the kickoff's coming up
Yes.
November 15th,
14th.
14th.
Yep, at
All
Pearl
right.
City Station.
Pearl City Station.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that's kicking off there.
Oh yeah, so that's coming up. So
Yeah.
all of these things, and it's the season where we give
Yes.
to each other.
Yes.
And we take care of our neighbors and our friends, and we celebrate everything that we love.
Yeah. You know, you shared earlier with the first desk, and you were looking at some pictures of World War II or something
Yes,
like that.
we're
and-
going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a lot of times at the kettles, you'll have veterans come up and talk about how they might have been in the hospital. And one girl came through with a cart trying to sell them things, and they're in the hospital. They don't have their money, and they
Sure.
couldn't. Maybe they wanted a pack of cigarettes, or maybe they wanted clean socks, or letters and pen to write home with, and stamps. And
Right.
one organization may have tried to sell them, but then Salvation Army came through with the lassies, the female Salvationists that went over there, and were on the front lines with these men, and bandaged their wounds, and were able to help them. And those people remember that,
Oh, sure
and they'll
they
tell
do.
you those stories at the kettle about that. And so, while there's nothing big like that's gone on in recent history for people of my generation to have an affinity of the Salvation Army like that, it's in these moments of, you know what, I'm really struggling with my family to pay the bills. I can't afford Christmas. Can you please help? And for us to be able to say unconditionally, 100% absolutely yes, that might just be the difference that someone needs 50 years from now to talk to a guy at the kettle to say, you
That's
know what,
true.
in Muscatine, I was having a hard time with my family. I couldn't afford rent and food, and they showed up with Christmas gifts and baskets, and so, you know, it all just comes together and comes back around, and
Yes, it
and
does.
works out.
Yes, it
It's
does.
amazing.
And I love your giving spirit. I know I saw on Facebook recently a lady say that she didn't have any food and didn't have transportation. And I saw you offer to drive to her house and bring her whatever she needed.
Yeah.
Those are the servants that we need for our people here in Muscatine. And that's why we're glad that we have you
Yeah.
here now.
Thank you.
Because Muscatine is a giving community,
It is.
and we want to have all of our friends and neighbors be taken care of. And certainly we don't want one child
Right.
to go without Christmas, which is why this Christmas basket program is so important to our
Yeah,
community.
It is.
So you've been partnering now the last couple years with Calvary,
Yes.
right? For the Christmas basket program.
Let me tell you, Pastor Ty at Calvary and
amazing, isn't
his
he?
staff and that whole congregation has been
Alyssa, sure.
Yes, with the children's ministry and the associate pastor, they've all just been a complete blessing to Salvation Army. So previous years when we've partnered with Calvary, it's been you go there to get your toys and you got to drive back down to the Salvation Army to get your food. So this year we thought, why are we making people drive to different locations?
Sure.
The 2 weeks of love, the food's collected at Hy-Vee, right? So what we're going to do this year is we'll take what's needed for the Christmas baskets from Hy-Vee over to Calvary.
Okay.
Right? So the Hawkeye Hauler can still go down to Salvation Army and deliver the food, what's left over to the food pantry.
Sure.
And if there's excess, of course, we'll share with other pantries in town.
Of course.
But what's needed for the Christmas baskets, we'll take right across the street to Calvary. So it's a one-stop shop this year.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
That'll be consumer based.
Yes.
It's for their benefit.
Yes, and it's really, there was no hidden agenda or motives on our part or Calvary's part. It was Pastor Ty, when we brought that extra step to him, he was just saying, whatever we can do to help the Salvation Army. This is your ministry. This is your deal. We are honored to partner with you on it. Whatever we can do to make it seamless for the folks you serve, we're here to serve you, serving those people. And so,
I just love how Muscatine comes together instead of being adversaries or being competitive with one another. You see Calvary Church helping the Salvation Army Church to help you both be successful. My family, we go to First Baptist Church, and Mulford Church needed a new roof last year, and they weren't going to be able to be in their church. So we opened our doors to the Mulford Church to come to our church while your church is being remodeled. And then they invited us to come back down there. The way that we're all working together instead of in competition with one another benefits us all.
And you know what that is? Not to get preachy or churchy on you, but that's the body of Christ working together as one complete body.
It is.
It's filling in whenever the hand doesn't work, the other hand comes and helps out.
Exactly. And it's heartwarming to see that happen.
Yeah.
Yes, and the ministerial society, the ministerial group that meets once a month, same way, working together. Nonprofits in Muscatine do the same thing. Oftentimes when there's funding streams come through the state or federal government, those are always the questions that come up. Well, how are you collaborating together, and are you competing? And those, and we're like, we work together. Yeah. We're not in competition. We want to make sure that this family is served. Yep. If you're serving them okay, if we're serving them okay, we're not going to fight over them. Yeah. So, and that's not in Muscatine. That's how we do it. We collaborate.
Yeah. Today I was being new. This is our first. I've worked for the Army before and have done cuddle programs and Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners, all that before. But today it all caught up with me today, and I was feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and a little confused on some blackout dates, and I walked into the United Way. I didn't call, I just showed up, and I walked in, and those ladies there, they sat down with me, and they listened. Okay, Lieutenant, what are your questions? What are you confused about, and how can we help you sort it out?
That's great.
And they just listened, and I'm going, you know what? That's when they do hashtag Living United. That's what that is to me. Is helping me, the new lieutenant, who was confused about some situations, for services in Muscatine. They sat down with me and they helped me understand it and figure it out. And that's collaboration.
Yeah, it is.
That's working together. That's coordination of care amongst each other as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So our big takeaway from tonight is get down there and apply for your Christmas basket tomorrow.
Yes.
Now that's for the Christmas basket is going to supply what for this family? So
the Christmas basket is going to supply basically a Christmas meal.
So Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hy-Vee has it to where if you go through you're checking out, the cashier might ask you, or if you know, you can say you would like to donate what are the bags for the freezing for food.
Okay.
Freezing for Food, it's for the Hawkeye Holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, so 2 weeks of love.
Yes.
So they'll have, I mean, I think it's full of like, just like a Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner meal.
Okay.
So whatever that may entail, I don't know the specifics of what's in the basket specifically for, I don't want to misspeak.
Probably potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole, thingies.
Yeah, see, you would know. Yeah. And I see your post too, because I see your dinner post, like, saying we're having this for dinner. So
That's
you know
right.
what's in those
That's
bags.
Right.
Yeah.
Family dinner, yep.
Right. Well, we're trying to, get like some meat, turkey, ham, eggs, milk, butter, things that people would need to make that meal for their family. So it's really intended to be for that. For
Christmas dinner.
That Christmas dinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Yeah.
And then what else will the Christmas basket include?
I think it's just
a toy for each child.
Oh yeah, so if you sign up for Christmas basket and toys, then you will get toys there as well.
And that'll be for every child. In the home.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So, Alyssa.
Yes.
She has just.
Alyssa, your act. She's great.
Yeah, she set it up so perfectly. She has it. It's like a well-oiled machine where. The volunteers at Calvary gets together, and they want you to know, the community to know, that if you want to volunteer to help out, they want you to come down to volunteer and help people shop for their toys. Okay. So it is like it's not a here's your bag of toys. It's we're gonna walk through this with you, and you can choose for your child.
So the parents have the ownership, and they get to pick, and so it's not like they bought it for you.
Right.
It's like I got to pick it out, though.
Yes.
I might not have paid the cost, but they get a part of that giving.
So it's not like they get a plastic bag and toys that their kids won't want.
Sure, and they'll know what their child wants.
Exactly, and it's a sense of ownership, and it gives you a sense of going, I got to choose this for my child.
So the volunteer will go with the parent on pickup day. Yep. And they will go pick out the toys for all of their family. Yeah.
So on the applications you fill out, we're having people put down like 3 items that they think their kid would want for Christmas.
Okay.
All the kids in the household. And so when they walk through, they have the application, and they'll walk through and they'll look for those specific items so they can get them.
Very nice.
For Christmas.
And they'll pick up their food that same day.
Same day, right? Just right down the way from where the auditorium is for food.
Non-refrigerated and then refrigerated.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's great.
It's
so what will pickup day be?
Pickup day's going to be, I think it's going to be the 16th and 17th
of December.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong on that date,
that's okay.
Watch our Facebook page.
Yes.
Because
you guys do a great job with keeping social media fine with all of the dates coming up and making sure that everything is current.
Yeah, we're trying.
That a lot of people, look to Facebook. Yeah. In other communities, I don't know that Facebook is utilized to the extent we do in Muscatine. I think they do Twitter, Instagram, or something. We don't seem to do that as much, but Facebook seems to be the place people go to for information. And you guys are on board. Well, you do a great job with being on board with making sure that the information is out there.
We're trying, and you can choose. Like you can choose the audience that needs to see your post.
Sure.
So I can choose people on the south side of town, or parents with kids for movie nights. I can choose parents with kids. From a certain age, might want to come see a certain movie at Salvation Army.
Sure.
And I can kind of choose, or I can make it general audience, so everyone can see it. It'll show up in everybody's, news feed. So
very good.
It's a very useful tool.
Sure.
And so if people don't like the page yet, it's the Salvation Army of Muscatine County. And they can go on and they can like that page and get all the updates that we have.
Sure.
And so I also want to mention the Salvation Army of Muscatine County.
I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yes.
Because it's for Wilton and West Liberty.
It is. So we want people to know that if you're in Wilton and West Liberty and you're watching this and you need help for Christmas, let us know. I know there might be some people, organizations in that town that are already helping. And if you miss those sign-up dates, or if you can't get into them, call us and let us know. Sure. Even if the date's gone by for us, we're still going to try to accommodate you.
So it's important for you to serve the entire county.
Yes, the entire county.
Not just the city of Muscatine.
Yeah. In fact, I think we're going to look at this coming year, trying to have maybe some satellite offices in those communities where a caseworker can go once or twice a week and
Sure,
just
sure.
one afternoon and sit and do social services or just
Oh, yeah.
pathway of
And
hope.
Mary's Pathway of Hope.
Yes.
You know, I mean, she's been on the show to talk about that program that really helps lift families out of poverty and become self-sufficient and just come alongside and help them navigate through that process and for a long time, you know, because, you know, it's not like you just come in a crisis and get cured and now all of a sudden, but it takes a lot to move your family into self-sufficiency.
It is. It's literally wraparound care.
Yes, and that's what is so needed.
And you're right. We all work together to provide that wraparound care. I was talking with Scott Dalkey from MCISA, and he said we help people from head to heel.
Yes.
And it literally is like wraparound care, and what they can't help with, we can help with, and so we can kind of fill in the gaps where they're at. And it's just a good feeling to know that
it is.
Somebody who might come in hopeless will then leave out of our offices hope strong.
Yes.
So from going from hopeless to now hope strong, and to watch that dignity come back to them and the life come back to their face and the smile on their face. And I want folks to know, if you've come to the Army, you may have had that experience before, come back again.
Come again, because you'll find it different now.
You know, we like to have fun and laugh, and it's just a good atmosphere.
Oh, sure.
I want folks to enjoy coming in.
And it's catching.
Yes. It is. It's contagious.
It
really
is.
is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So we're having good success so far. I just want to throw these numbers out there to you.
Okay, please
So
do.
far, as of today, the number of families that we've have signed up, it's about 350 families so far.
Wow.
That is about 888 households, and so far we have 564 children.
Wow.
And that's just October's numbers.
Yeah, you don't have November's in there yet. Third, fourth, and fifth. No, fourth, fifth, and
Fourth,
sixth.
fifth, and sixth. Yeah, so these are November's or October's numbers. Yeah.
So you could do that same amount in November.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of Christmas baskets.
It is.
We need a lot of toys.
Yeah, we do.
A lot of food.
Contrary Brewing has their thing coming up this Sunday, starting at I think 11:30 or noon.
Right.
To about 5. Come down, donate, bring a toy, and you can. I think there's a drink special that they can can partake in. And I want to mention Viola Lee, I think her name is Viola. She's the lady that used to work for Muscatine County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
She has been doing this toy drive for 14 years.
Wow.
She's been doing this toy drive. She's done it at Booney's, at Jody's, and I think I went to the one at Jody's, and I think folks were a little like, is that a Salvation Army officer in the bar on a Saturday eating the chili? But you know what? It was the Salvation. It was to support us.
Well, of course.
In our event. So wherever I gotta go,
you'll go.
I'm gonna go, because if she puts that much effort into it, 14 years worth of doing it, and this is the first time.
Think of the lives she's touched and helped.
Yes, she is a blessing to this community.
That's
and
great.
Anyone who rings a bell or volunteers at the kitchen or thank you.
Oh,
We can't do it without people helping us out. So
we love it, and I always try to encourage people to teach their kids. Our kids need to see us doing the right thing.
Yes.
So all of our grandkids take shifts with me to ring the Christmas bells.
Yes, that's
for Salvation Army.
That is amazing. That's teaching them.
Yeah, it is. They need to see that in our family, this is what we do.
Yes. Yeah.
And they just need to grow up that way, knowing that.
And people who think that they can't afford to give monetarily to the Salvation Army,
you can ring the bells.
You can registertoring.com.
Yeah, registertoring.com.
Go in there, type in Muscatine. You can figure out what locations and times are open. And
I love that process.
If you're someone who doesn't do online accounts, give us a call and we'll walk you through it. Yep. We'll do it for you over the phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's very important.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And the kids get to experience. It's just not. And if you're not ringing the bell, be dropping in.
Yeah.
So if you're not ringing it, you better be putting something in it.
Right.
And so every time you walk by one, drop it in and give it to the kids and have them do it.
Yeah.
So that they get used to, you see that red kettle,
Yes.
you drop it in there.
Yes.
And when they grow up, they just know.
That's
when
right.
you walk by it, you drop it in.
You know what, for me it was, you know how we sometimes a sound can associate things of our past with us? I remember being about 7 years old and walking by Walgreens in Alta, my hometown, and throwing some change in the metal Salvation Army kettle.
Yes.
And just the clink clink of that, those coins hitting the metal kettle and the change in there. I remember telling my dad, when I grow up, I want to be a bell ringer for the Salvation Army. And now here I'm an officer for the Salvation Army.
Are.
But it was just that sound, and then learning what all the Army does, how far-reaching. People don't really they scratch the surface of what the Army does. It's so much that we do for people. And we're just honored to be in Muscatine and be just a small part of our 127-year history of doing the most good here in Muscatine.
Sure. Well, we're glad you're here. We need you here in Muscatine. As you can see, with 350 families already signing up for Christmas baskets in October.
Yes.
You know you're needed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. And people, you know what? You're a board member, and thank you very much
My
for
pleasure.
your service on the board.
I enjoy
and
it.
Your support of the Salvation Army
Yes.
and the support of the community. We saw it again with the Halloween event that we had.
Oh yeah.
It was we put it out Tuesday morning, and
crazy,
by Thursday we had all this candy come in. And
bad weather coming on, and you say, "Hey, we'll have a party here."
Yeah.
And the community just started dumping candy on you.
You know, that's the first time I really thought to myself, "Wow, we really have a good thing going here."
Yeah.
You know, seeing all that just come in, so it's great.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, Muscatine is that way. If somebody raises their hand and says we have a need, it comes.
Yeah.
Yep. You found that with the big kettle that the community's gonna see
yes.
coming up down
yes,
the road.
You're dropping some hints.
That's
you're dropping
right.
some hints.
Dropping a couple of hints.
It's gonna
got some surprises.
It's
coming
gonna
up.
be so cool.
Yes, it is.
And it's an interactive
Yes.
kettle. It's not just one that you walk by and you look at. It's one that you can, if you thought you were ringing bells at the kettle was a cool thing, wait till you can be in a kettle ringing the bell for the kettles. That's a whole new experience.
Oh,
and I cannot wait
to
show Muscatine.
It's going to be wonderful.
It's so
Just
amazing.
wonderful.
And thank you to Hoffman Corporation and everyone who supported.
Absolutely. And I know there'll be more information coming on that.
Yes.
Because we certainly want to share that story.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yep.
It's
Very
great.
good. So, get down to Salvation Army tomorrow.
Yes.
And get signed up for a Christmas basket if you need one. If you don't need one, but you know somebody who does, get on the phone and make sure they're down there. If they need transportation, have them ask you or have them call the Y or Salvation Army.
Yes.
We have a Musca bus right here in Muscatine.
Yeah, and we can...
we'll make it happen.
We can make it happen, exactly.
That's right.
We'll make it happen.
We can make it happen.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, thank you so much.
There's the kettle right there.
There was the big one.
Yes.
That's right. There you go. Oh, fun. All right. Thank you so much for coming, Lieutenant.
Thank you very much for having me.
We love having you
great.
here.
Thank you.
We've got a beautiful, wonderful holiday season coming up.
I can't wait for this holiday stroll.
I know.
I cannot wait.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be great,
and
too.
this kettle should be there for that, and I'm super
That's gonna be
excited.
great. And we're going to do this show live at the holiday stroll.
Yes.
Right when we're going to kick it off when we're lighting the Christmas tree.
Maybe you can come down to the kettle and see it.
Oh, I
too,
will.
So
I
awesome.
definitely will.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. I just had a couple reminders. Next week, our guests are Jean Pfeiffer with Muscatine Legal Services and Amy Borgsteed with Boy Scouts of America. We had to cancel on her when we had an equipment malfunction, the one and only time that ever happened. But then the next time we rescheduled her, she became ill. And so third time's the charm. She's going to be here next week. Thursday night, we have a regular city council meeting, and please remember that November is Veterans Day, and so the administration offices will be closed. The River Bend Mobile Food Pantry that used to be available to give food out at the high school has moved their location, and they're at the Muscatine Community School District Administration Building, 2900 Mulberry, and they will be there on every month on the second Tuesday of the month from 4:30 to 6, And so that means the next one is November 12th, a week from today. And so they also wanted me to remind people that they are going to have a shuttle running from Cedar Park, Cedar Hills area back and forth to the administration building. So if people have transportation worries, they've got that figured out for you too. Please remember that this show is shown live on Channel 5 and on YouTube and on Facebook, and it'll be replayed throughout the week. And now what I started talking about at the beginning of the show, I just wanted to ask you to join me in remembering to be extra thankful in November. Oftentimes we get busy and we forget to pause and appreciate the wonderful gifts that we've been given. Tonight, I would like to say that I am thankful that we live in a country filled with freedoms which were gained through the sacrifices of our veterans. As we pause on Monday to honor all of our veterans, let's remember to be thankful for our freedom to worship the way we want, to speak our opinions, to vote like we did today, to live and work where we choose, and so many others. And what really reminded me of this, my friend Mindy and I were in Washington, D.C. We've been there a few different times, but this last time we went to the World War II Memorial. And the World War II Memorial, can we go back, Chad, to that first picture? Some of these pictures I took myself, but some of them I got off of Facebook, and this one was Stephen Marks. But because the World War II Memorial is so much larger than any of the other memorials in Washington, D.C., and I couldn't get a picture of the whole thing. But what I want you to take notice of is the size of it, if you see the people. And if you can pan back out and make it smaller, Chad, for a minute, I want you to notice at the top of the screen, there's like an arch, and there's like some little squares. But you'll see this little arch. I don't think I can point to it. Can I point to it? This arch right here, it's gold. Do you see that? Right smack in the middle towards the top of the page. So right there. So that now if we keep going forward, that's called the Freedom Wall. Now if we go to the next couple of slides, I just wanted to show you, this is a close-up of that spot I just showed you. And it's, here we mark the price of freedom. And this is covered with over 5,000 gold stars. And if we go to the next slide, I can show you what each one of those gold stars means. So the price of freedom, this is the plaque that's at those gold stars. This Freedom Wall holds 4,048 gold stars. Each gold star represents 100 American service personnel who died or remained missing in the war. The 405,399 American dead and missing from World War II are second only to the loss of more than 620,000 Americans during our Civil War. This part of the World War II Memorial is so big, and I think you could see that in the picture when you saw the people there, and the size of them in relation to it. It's amazing to look at that great big wall and think that each one of those stars is 100 people who lost their lives fighting for our freedom. It's quite moving, and it is something that you never forget once you're there. And I would just like you to join me in remembering and thanking our veterans for our freedoms. And certainly on Monday, Veterans Day, will be a time that we all can do that even more. So thank you for allowing me to divulge from community events for a little bit, but I think it's something that we always need to be mindful of. And I will try to remember these next few weeks in November to mention something else that we all have to be thankful for in November. Because as we talked with Lieutenant, we are moving into that time when it's important for us to remember our community and our friends and neighbors and all of the blessings that we have. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have one last thing. I just noticed it laying here on my desk. This Thursday, November 7th, from 4 to 7, at the Salvation Army, the Muscatine Lions Club is having their 14th annual soup supper. Your free will offering will support all of the local Muscatine service projects, and they do a lot of programs in Muscatine, the Lions Club does. So this is a chili, tomato soup, chicken noodle soup, pies and cakes, all kinds of stuff, and they have carry out too. So don't bother cooking. Run in there and grab supper for the whole family. Free will offering, whatever you're comfortable with, and it supports some of the wonderful programs that we have here in Muscatine. Thank you. Have a wonderful and blessed evening, and we'll see you here next week on Our City.